The video, recorded within a logistics center or sorting facility, shows a series of extendable conveyor belts actively running into a truck trailer, specifically designed for transporting packages, not personnel. A worker is observed intentionally stepping onto the moving conveyor belt to navigate or travel along the loading area. In a moment of severe peril, the worker's foot or leg is suddenly caught and drawn into an exposed pinch point or gap in the conveyor's mechanism. This incident vividly demonstrates the zero-tolerance policy required for this equipment. Personnel must never walk, ride, or step on operational conveyors. All conveyor systems must be adequately equipped with proper safety guarding, machine guarding, to eliminate exposed pinch points, and designated safe walkways must always be utilized by employees to prevent contact with moving components. The video shows a team of workers in a workshop or glass processing facility attempting to move or position a large, cumbersome pane of glass. The material's size and weight present a significant challenge, requiring multiple individuals and posing an immediate hazard due to potential loss of control or breakage. The workers appear to be moving the glass primarily by hand and coordination. Handling such massive, sharp material manually creates a high risk of slippage or breakage due to uneven pressure, potentially leading to severe cuts or impact injuries from falling fragments. It is a critical safety requirement to utilize mechanical aids, such as specialized vacuum lifters, hoisting equipment, or wheeled dollies for large glass panels. Furthermore, all personnel must consistently wear appropriate personal protective equipment, PPE, including cut-resistant gloves and safety eyewear to protect against contact with sharp edges. The video initially showcases a long, pedestrian suspension bridge constructed primarily from wooden components, spanning a river with fast-moving, turbulent water. The bridge exhibits visible age and structural instability, swaying near a residential area. Despite these clear vulnerabilities, a heavy truck or similar vehicle abruptly attempts to cross the bridge at speed. Immediately upon the vehicle's entry, the structurally compromised bridge buckles dramatically under the impossible weight. The collapse causes sections of the bridge to submerge and be violently swept away by the powerful river current, resulting in total structural failure. Drivers must strictly observe and respect all posted weight and speed limits on bridges, especially those with clearly compromised or older construction. Attempting to cross a structurally inadequate bridge with an oversized vehicle creates an immediate and high-risk collapse scenario. The video, filmed from an elevated perspective at a staging or loading dock, shows a large truck heavily loaded with stacked boxes and bulky items being actively unloaded. The cargo is stacked to a significant height, immediately posing a risk of falling material. A worker is observed standing and maneuvering directly on top of the stacked cargo on the truck's bed to manually handle and push items off the load. The primary safety failure occurs when an item is dislodged or dropped from the top of the stack, falling rapidly toward the ground. Simultaneously, another worker walks directly beneath the danger zone without awareness, and the falling cargo strikes his head. It is a fundamental safety rule that strict exclusion zones, no-go areas, must be maintained beneath and immediately around loads being handled at height. Workers on top of loads must utilize a personal fall arrest system, PFAS, and never manually push or drop items that could strike personnel below. The video, filmed within a manufacturing or production facility, shows a worker engaged with a large machine that features rapidly rotating shafts, wheels, or belts. A major safety deficiency is immediately apparent. The dangerous, moving components appear to be inadequately shielded or completely exposed. As the worker continues their operation, their arm or a loose part of their clothing comes into direct contact with the spinning mechanism, resulting in the immediate and powerful entanglement of the limb. This incident is a direct consequence of violating fundamental safety protocols. It is an absolute safety mandate that all rotating, reciprocating, or crushing parts of machinery must be fully secured with rigid, effective machine guarding to prevent any worker contact. Personnel must never reach into or over moving equipment during operation, and strict lockout, tagout, LOTO procedures must be followed for any maintenance. The video, filmed in a scrap or material handling yard, shows a large wheeled excavator or material handler operating in a relatively confined space. The area around the machine is restricted and contains fixed structures, creating dangerous pinch points. A worker, wearing high visibility gear, enters the immediate blind spot between the reversing machine's body and a solid structure, such as a metal wall. Unaware of the worker's presence, the equipment operator continues to move backward, resulting in the worker being forcibly caught and compressed between the machine and the fixed structure. It is a critical safety rule that workers must never enter the operational radius of heavy equipment without explicit permission and clearance from the operator. Furthermore, dedicated spotters and rigid physical barriers must be used in congested areas to ensure absolute segregation between pedestrian traffic and mobile machinery, thereby eliminating pinch and crush risks. The video, filmed in a machine shop environment, shows a worker operating near a large piece of equipment that is spinning a wheel rim or similar circular component. The worker is using a handheld tool close to the rotating item, which appears to be inadequately secured to the machine's chuck or mounting. Abruptly, the large wheel rim breaks free from its mounting and is violently ejected from the machine by centrifugal force. The rim flies off at high speed and strikes the worker standing nearby. It is an absolute safety requirement that all workpieces on rotating machinery must be meticulously secured and tested for stability before operation. Operators must also stand clear of the direct line of fire, the path of potential object ejection, and wear appropriate impact protection to mitigate the severe danger posed by flying components. The scene shows an overhead crane or lifting mechanism actively hoisting a substantial and heavy load. Two workers are positioned in the vicinity, potentially guiding the material or working near the landing zone. Without warning, the hoisting cable or rigging system experiences a critical failure, severing the line. The massive load immediately plunges toward the ground with extreme velocity. Demonstrating sudden, quick movement, the two nearby workers are forced to scramble away from the impact area, narrowly escaping being crushed by the falling object. It is a non-negotiable safety mandate that all rigging and lifting equipment must be rigorously inspected before every shift. Furthermore, personnel must never position themselves beneath or in the immediate potential fall path of any suspended load. The lifting zone must be clearly barricaded, and all workers must respect the exclusion zone boundaries. The video shows a forklift attempting to lift and maneuver an extremely large and cumbersome load that significantly exceeds the machine's rated capacity and safe center of gravity. As the operator attempts to move or turn, the unstable, oversized load causes the forklift to immediately tip and roll onto its side. Upon the tip-over, the heavy cargo violently slides off the forks and strikes a worker who was positioned nearby, potentially assisting with the move. It is a fundamental safety rule that forklifts must never be operated above their rated load capacity, and all cargo must be stable and centered. Furthermore, pedestrian traffic must be strictly separated from all powered industrial truck operational zones to prevent severe struck-by or crush incidents resulting from unstable equipment or falling loads. This footage provides an extremely urgent safety warning concerning the catastrophic risk of trench collapse and the critical requirement for adequate protective systems when personnel work in deep excavations. The video, filmed at a construction site near an existing structure, shows workers digging and performing tasks inside a narrow, deep trench. The workers are positioned at the bottom of the excavation, with no visible shoring or sloping to support the vertical trench walls. Without warning, the unsupported soil mass from the trench wall suddenly and violently collapses. The massive volume of earth immediately pours into the work area, burying the worker at the trench base. The collapse prompts an immediate and frantic rescue effort by co-workers. It is a fundamental safety mandate that all trenches exceeding 5 feet, approximately 1.5 meters in depth, must be protected by shoring, shielding, or sloping systems to prevent cave-ins. Personnel must never enter an unprotected trench. The incident involves a 3-wheeled motorized vehicle navigating a roadway or shoulder where an open trench or deep hole has been excavated. The driver of the 3-wheeled vehicle approaches the unprotected opening and, due to the uneven or missing road surface, the vehicle loses stability, tilting and causing the driver to be thrown into the deep excavation. Compounding the immediate danger, a large delivery or haul truck is simultaneously moving along the same path. Due to the driver's limited visibility and the proximity of the hole to the travel lane, the truck proceeds to drive over the area where the person had fallen, resulting in a devastating crush incident. Construction sites must ensure all road excavations and trenches are clearly barricaded, well marked, and adequately illuminated to prevent vehicles and pedestrians from entering the hazard zone. Furthermore, strict traffic control plans must be implemented to safely route vehicles away from work areas and potential drop-offs.